Welcome to another episode of Dad Can We Talk. I'm your host, Anthony Ray, and this is episode 76. So today is March 26th. So that means that we are exactly one week away from April 2nd, which is the first annual Dad Can We Talk Dad Walk. And if anybody hears this before that walk, which you should, I made a crucial change to the walk. We were going to be walking from Aquin Jones to Westside Park, and I started thinking yesterday how it probably would be very difficult and just cause a lot of confusion as far as parking and how will people get back to their cars after walking to West Side and all of these other things. And I was like, okay, I got a problem. So I chose to solve that problem. So now we are going to start at Aquin Jones and we will end at Aquin Jones. We're going to basically walk from, if anyone is familiar with Gainesville, we're going to walk from Aquin Jones to 6th Street. Take 6th Street down to University, take University up to 12th Street, and take 12th Street back up to 8th Ave where Aquin Jones is. So we're basically going to take a walk around the block. So it'll end up being a shorter walk, which I think will be good. You know, originally it was about 2.8 miles from Aquin Jones to West Side. So now we'll be doing 1.8 miles of walking. And I think it'll be good for the kids, better for some of the older people that might come out. So I just want it to be good for everybody, man. You know, even for me, man, my ankles and my knees are definitely trying to collapse on me, man. So yeah, your boy been trying to get right. So yeah, it'll definitely be, I think, better for everyone. It'll be easier to organize and orchestrate as far as people who want to help out. We'll all be in one place, man. So I did make that change. I made the announcement out over Facebook and Instagram. So hopefully everybody understands that and just meet up at Aquin Jones, and that's where we'll be. So been having a lot of people reaching out, and I'm expecting it to be a crazy event. So appreciate everyone that's helping out with this, assisting, who's bought snacks or waters or whatever, man. I need all the help I can get. So thank you to everyone who has donated for the event. And I just definitely appreciate all the help and everyone that's supporting. So yeah, that's next week. So let's get down to business, man. Today I'm here with the man that I met a few days back, man. Well, he started, we're coworkers. And he started at the job maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, last week was my third week.
Okay, so about 3 weeks ago. And it's crazy, man. It's so crazy how everything works. So when I wore one of my shirts to work the other day, and just so happened he saw me and he was like, "Hey man, you heard about the event they're doing?" And when he said that, I was like, I'm kind of like, huh? And he pulled up the flyer to the walk. And he was like, "Yeah, man, they're doing the event." I'm like, "Man, that's my event."
Yeah, screenshot it, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
For me, I was like, "Dang, that's crazy how he just heard about that." And so we just went to talking. I was like, "Man, shoot, I got a slot open for Saturday, man. Come on the podcast and let's chop it up, man. I want to just get to know you, man." And that's where we are today. So. Y'all welcome to the show, my man James. What's good?
What's going on?
Yeah, man.
Had to make you feel good.
Somebody
came up. Yeah, I know I had to, man.
It was crazy, man. I went home and I was telling my wife, and I'm just like, cause I kind of, when I put together the event, I ain't gonna say I was thinking it was gonna be small, but I didn't think like it was gonna get crazy big or anything.
Yeah.
And because I was like, man, I'm just inviting most of my dogs and, people I know and tell people to get the word out or whatever. And,
See what you thought. Yeah,
man,
that's good.
So many people been reaching out to me.
That's a blessing.
And just with you, I'm like, man, bro, he just got here in town. So it ain't like he is somebody here.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, I know the word is getting out, man. So
that's awesome though, man. Cause shoot, I remember I went to the hospital one time and dude came up to me like, "Hey, you do music, don't you?" I was like, yeah. And he's like, "I seen your music video," and I was like, "I don't even know this man," but it made me feel like good, you know what I mean? Like, damn, I don't even know this guy. He knows my music though, so I know I had to feel good because I had to screenshot it and everything.
Yeah.
And like I said, we just moved here, so we don't know a bunch of events and everything like we do down south in Gainesville and everything. So when we saw that, it was definitely something that I want to go through, and that's what's up that you shortened up the walk because my wife want to come.
Yeah.
And she 8 months pregnant.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know.
She trying to have that thing.
I don't know. I won't be waddling the whole time, and slow down. So that's definitely what's up, man. Yeah, definitely
So man, let's get into it, man. I always ask the first question. The same first question on every episode, and that's where we're gonna start at. So my first question is, I want to know what your relationship was with your dad growing up. Talk about that.
I ain't had one. I mean, pretty much. I had my sister's dad when I was younger a little bit. It was that time about maybe 10 years old. I want to say somewhere around there. After that, same normal, mom, dad split. I ain't had no dad, man. So he passed away when I was 13. Passed away 2007, December 28, 2007. So and when he passed away, I never knew him. So you know what I mean. So when my mom told me, I'm just like, I'm in winter break, You don't even care. I'm like, well, how can you care about somebody that you didn't know? So and so I actually I got older, I met my wife and got in contact with his sister. It was just me and his sister left on his side of the family, and I actually found her number on Google. She still used a house phone in Broward, so I ended up finding her number, reconnecting with her, and man, I found out a whole bunch of stuff about, my dad, that I didn't know, kind of, you grow up without him, you kind of resent him a little bit, but it's not, it's not like that, it wasn't like that at all. Parents have their difficulties splitting up, you know what I mean, and they kind of get petty between themselves, and the kids get hurt by it too, but, growing older now, I got my own kids and everything, it wasn't even like that, so got to hear a lot of pretty cool things. He actually did a lot of music and stuff. Yeah, so that's where I get it. I get my my love for music and stuff like that. I've got a whole bunch of pictures of him and a whole bunch of, some of his old stuff. He made a cassette for me, to listen to when I get older and everything. So it was cool, just stuff I didn't even know about him, So. I didn't have one, but, I had a stepfather for a little bit after that. And, he kind of went out the picture and had his own problems and everything. And that's about it. Just, just mom. So,
yeah. And it's funny you say that. I think at times we don't, it's, when you don't grow up with your dad like that, it's hard to understand why you do certain things. I didn't grow up with my dad either.
It's easy to understand when you get older though.
Yeah, so now it's like as we're older, and and I have a good relationship with my dad today, and just talking with him and understanding him, I understand where I get a lot of stuff from now.
Yeah.
Just having conversations with him, like, dang, that's why I do that. That's why, and it's just it's wild that how genetics work and how. And that's why I just always think, it's important. And as you say also, as you get older, even if you didn't, sometimes we don't know even the story of why our dads weren't there.
We know.
A lot of times
the truth.
Yeah, we just hear everybody else's story.
Yeah, they don't want to give you the truth, especially if it's something that ain't right or, something that they ain't planning to go that way. They don't want y'all to know. So same thing with something, you're stressing on the bills or whatever. They don't want the kids to know. You know what I mean? Real. So, but yeah, definitely.
That's real. So, growing up, were there any other men that stepped in? Uncles, brothers, cousins?
Nah, I mean, my mom had a boyfriend after that. He was He was an alcoholic though, so we didn't get along. I was getting into around my son's age now, probably 11, 12 years old, where you ain't my daddy.
Yeah.
Kind of that kind of.
Yeah.
So I didn't make anything any easier. So, but it definitely wasn't the person I wanted to guide me, nor the person that should have. Thank God he didn't, because he wasn't the best person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, but other than that, nah, man, I think I really leaned on, if anything, more my aunt, man.
Yeah.
My aunt in Lake City. Yeah, she definitely helped me out. Helped me out with everything, really. Took me in every time, She was kind of, I don't want to say like my mom, but she was definitely a mother figure to me, father figure, whatever, just a adult, figure that I can lean on. Other than that, nah, that's about it, man. It was just me and that's it.
Yeah, so, definitely. And I just like to always go back to just get an understanding of, people who have kids. Now it's like, I believe that we're shaped by our experiences growing up, and I talked to a lot of different dads, Some of us had dads growing up, and a lot of them, guys that I talk to like that, they speak glowingly of their dads and the things that they got from their dads, and how their dads really paved the way for them and showed them different things, and and you can see it, you can definitely see it. So it's always good to hear those stories, because it's like, for me, I'm like, dang, I wonder how I would have been if I did have that fatherly guidance growing up.
Yeah.
But, all things happen for a reason or whatever, and we probably wouldn't be the people that we are today, so because of my experiences growing up, I am who I am right now.
Yeah.
At 33, with 3 kids of my own and a wife of my own, it's like, those experiences shaped me. So, even in your situation, it's like, you look at your situation and, you are who you are.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I mean, I still think about it. What would I be like, if he was still here? What and like you said, we don't realize how many traits and how much we take from them. I wonder would I have done better? You know what I mean? Which I'm sure I probably would have, because having a father it's always better, especially for boys. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
Yeah, I definitely don't think if I would have had a father, I wouldn't have been half as man.
Yeah,
I had somebody to whoop me every time, somebody to tell me no, somebody to my mom couldn't control me, man. Sometimes you can't. You need a man there to buckle down and kind of like a Lion King, Simba thing. You run it until I'm gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's why I tell my son now. I made mistakes. You know what I mean? So you could know not to do them. I didn't know his mistakes. Mm-hmm. So the same mistakes I know that he done, I've already done, and I've already gotten so far. You know what I mean? And if he was in my life and I did have him then, I definitely think it would have helped having somebody to definitely smack me up a little bit, and tell me to tighten up. This ain't what you want to do. This is how you want to do it. This is how you want to do it. Don't do it this way. Cause definitely makes an impact, and that's why I think I'm so hard sometimes on my son, because I made plenty of mistakes that he should never make, because I've made them so many times, and he's seen what I go through, and he's my stepson, but I've had him for 4 years, and he's smart as hell. He's an awesome person. You know what I mean? He gets on my nerves. Yeah. But it's so funny because when he does some of the stuff he does, I see me. You know what I mean? So it's like, dang, what would my dad have done? It's like, I don't know what he would have done, but I know what him acting like that, when I acted like that, what it did to me, so I can't let you do that. You know what I mean? So So even though, you know, he's hard-headed and, you know, boys get older, you know, it's, I definitely gotta, I feel like I gotta be harder than him, because he's about to have 5 sisters, man.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't always gonna
It's
be
real.
here, you know, so, and now being older, you know, I wish I was more respectful and being able to take care of my mom and be able to take care of my sisters and, you know, just be, you know, be the man that, to fill in and, you know, just play that role like you're supposed to, you know. And I know he's gonna be great, and I know he's gonna be better than me, so I want him to be his full, you know, potential. So, you know, everything I do, you know, if I'm not doing wrong, yo, I want you to know this isn't how you're supposed to do this, you know, this is how you're supposed to do it, or, you know, I see him doing something he ain't supposed to do, you know, you gotta let him know, you know, because, you know, just like the Medea movie, just kids turn to just adults. And once you're an adult, I can't really help you no more, you know, I can only tell you, you know, but yeah, so I think definitely the whole having a dad, you know, would affect anybody, man, especially young boys, and girls too, you know, because I'm about to have 5 daughters, you know, so I'm a hero. I'm Superman in them, you know what I mean? But, you know, if someone were to have me, I want to know, you know, my son could step in and be there, you know, so that's like I know my dad would have wanted, you know, to be there for my mom and my sisters and stuff like that. So yeah, that having a dad, I think definitely is a big part of a child's life, man.
That's real. So when you got with your wife, you said she had 4 kids?
Yeah.
So she had 4 kids. What made you say to yourself, man, this woman has 4 kids, let me step in? Because a lot of men would run from a responsibility like that. They would see that and like, man, I can't do that. You know, so what was it in you that said, man, you know what, I'm willing to take on this responsibility?
This is funny because, I mean, it's funny, but it's real.
Yeah.
But we were talking, you know, 4 kids, you know, damn, so how many baby daddies you got?
Yeah.
You know, and she only had 1. So to me, I thought that was one of the realest things in the world.
Yeah.
Cause she was with him for 10 years, you know, and I always wanted that. You know, I wanted she believes in the first person, you know, the person they had kids with should be the person you married and this and that, you know what I mean? And I believe the same thing. Yeah. So, and like I said, nowadays, man, no disrespect, but some women have 4 kids and 5 baby daddies. Right. And you know what I mean? So, to me, I just thought, you know, you have 1 kid, 4 baby daddies, you have your kids, you know what I mean? I'd have met women who, you know, oh, I'm this and that, mommy, I'm the best mommy, but you ain't even got custody of your kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a world that favors women as far as that, so to me that says a lot about somebody and everything. And she was going through a lot, but she still had a kid. You know, she actually had 2 of them at the time, and she was, you know, moving back down. We were both moving to Palm Beach, like I said earlier, and you know, we ended up. That was our, you know, we started talking, and I fell in love with her, and I fell in love with the kids. You know, they were a package deal, and I always wanted the kids to be a family. I wanted to be the dad, you know, I wanted to be what I didn't have, I guess. Yeah. You know, I worry, you know, I still worry, you know. Yeah. Worried a lot, you know, kids are a lot, period, you know what I mean? But, yeah, just that and seeing her doing what she gotta do to take care of them, just, it gave me a whole nother, I guess, push, you know, made me feel I was going through a lot at the time. You know, so it made me feel like if this person can do this, then there's no reason why I can't do anything. You know what I mean? Because she's the strongest person I've ever met. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, so really when she said I don't front, man, so that gotta mean something. To me, that meant a lot. Might not mean a lot to other people, but to me, that meant a lot. So, you know, gave her the chance. We kept talking. Eventually we moved back, you know, back to where we're from, or back to Palm Beach and kicked it, and that was it, man. My 4-year-old, she was 6 months at the time, and man, I just picked a little chunky out, and that was it. Man. I fell in love. I was already falling in love with their moms, so it just felt right, man. So yes,
man. Hey, listen, that ain't nothing but respect there, bro. Because you know, for you to step in and to take on that role to take care of children that's not yours, you know, biologically. Because I believe that when a man step in a position like what you're doing right now, and you're raising those kids, man, them your kids, bro.
Oh, they mine.
At the end of the day,
Definitely.
yeah, they got their other dad, and it's like no disrespect to him, but if you're in the house and you're raising those kids, bro, and that's what you're their dad, bro.
If you ask them,
straight up,
if you ask them, they're gonna tell you.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, no disrespect to him, but he ain't in the picture like that.
Yeah.
He ain't been in the picture like that for a while. My 4-year-old, I've had her since she was 6 months. You know, you ask me who my first child is.
Yeah.
It's her. She'll, you know, she might not, like you said, biologically, she'll be my little test run, baby, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, the ones I got coming out, but she's my first, man. And I love all of them to death. So, but her, I've had her since she was 6 months. She don't know anybody else.
Yeah.
So I'm her dad, and ain't nothing gonna change that. She don't even know, you know. All she knows is, you know, I'm her daddy. So, and that's something that messes with me, because I think every day how she's gonna react when she, you know, one day she's gonna find out. You know what I mean? I wanted to know my dad. You know what I mean? When I got older, you know, even though it wasn't the best person, you know, I still wanted to know who he was. So, you know, that's something I think about now. But I think, you know, she knows I'm her daddy, man. I've been here since she was 6 months old. Doctor's appointment, diapers, sports, everything, all that. I was there. Same thing with you know, my 7-year-old. I had her since she was 3-4 years old. But I love them all, man. They definitely saved my life, and they changed my life. So, especially my wife. So I definitely love all of them. It's hard. They annoy the hell out of me, and you know, do what kids do. But I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. So
What was that feeling like when you found out that you were about to have like your first biological, you know, when your wife told you?
Man.
What was that feeling like, bro?
It was kind of crazy, because like I said, we both moved to Palm Beach, and when she moved in with her friend, she was on the couch, you know, with kids until, you know, working, waiting to get a spot. I was at my boy's baby mom's house, you know, sharing the bed with my godson, my nephew, whatever. And eventually we powered up and got into a little efficiency. So we in this box. We ain't got nothing but a sink, a bathroom, and that's it, and a fridge. And but we were on a good path. So, you know, we knew what we were doing. I wanted a baby. You know, I wanted my own. We knew we weren't getting any younger. So when I found out, I was like, oh, man, we gotta power up. We gotta really, you know, cause we about to get the other kids back. We all about to have we about to have everybody, you know. And I was happy because it gives you a whole nother push, you know. And being with my wife, I seen her doing it, you know what I mean. So I knew, I don't know, she's everything to me. So being by her side made everything was gonna be okay, you know. So I made a pee on the stick again. I was like, no way, man. This ain't, you know what I'm saying, for real. Like, don't play with me, because she knows. You know, she knew how bad I wanted the baby, and just I made her pee on the stick again. We in this box and the mattress on the floor, and I'm looking around like, damn, we need a room. We need to get out. We need to get going. You know?
That's real.
So, but I was happy, man. I think I cried.
Yeah.
And everything. I was shaking. I know I was shaking. I was in the bathroom holding the stick, shaking. So, but man, it was awesome, man. It was great, you know. So, it was definitely another light in life.
That's real. That's real. It's commendable, bro, and to see, just to hear, from our short conversations we've had so far, man, just to see and to hear where y'all are today, man, it's encouraging.
Yeah.
To just see that, and I just love to hear stuff like that. To see people who, who make it their thing. Like, we gonna make it together. We gonna stick together through the hard times, and we gonna keep pushing. And the more and more you it's like you'll look back, 5-10 years from now, and look back at that situation like, dang, look how far we've come.
We talk about it all the time. It was funny because when we first got together and we got into the efficiency, it was funny, man, because I bought her some flowers and we put them in a McDonald's cup on top of the table. And I took a picture of it, and she said, "Why you taking a picture? We don't got nothing on the table, nothing but flowers. We're in a box. We call it the box, because it was in a little efficiency." And I was like, "Man, we're gonna look at this one day, and we gonna remember, like, yo, this is how we started off, So now, we in Gainesville. We having our second kid. We own the house we in, and we look back and pull up that picture, and it's like, this is where we started from, man. We ain't even own that table. The only thing we owned was the mattress and the damn McDonald's cups and the flowers,
That's real.
Now we everybody got their own room. We good, we own something. We made shit shake, man. So it was definitely a blessing, man. It was definitely cool, man.
Love that.
Glad it's part of my story.
Love that, bro. Man, what's been the hardest part, of fatherhood up until this point? What you've been in it for a few years now. What's been the biggest challenge for you thus far?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a challenge now. Just everything you do don't just affect you no more. It's different when you down bad and you by yourself. But when you down bad and you got mouths to feed, it's not a good feeling. And we still struggle now and then here and there. Certain thing, whatever. But yeah, definitely knowing that you ain't, like I said, it's different when you down bad by yourself. When I first met my wife, I was on a bike taking the bus. Going to all the way to West Palm, back to Boynton to West Palm, and running all 2-3 hours of sleep. She had a whip at that time, so thank God she was be nice enough to let me hold the car and get back and forth to work. But I was cool with that. I was cool with taking a bike and taking a bus and stuff like that. I ain't cool with that when I had kids. You can't be cool with it. We had, no disrespect nobody who's taking a bus with their kids and stuff. We done been there too. But you don't want that. You want to be able to make sure they good. So and if they ain't good, if you ain't good, they ain't good. So definitely can't put that off to the side no more. And it's all right. It's just me, because it ain't just you no more.
That's real.
So you really gotta boss it up.
That's real. How is it, man, I keep thinking about, man, you say 4 girls, and now including about to be 5, and then your wife. So that's like 6.
Yeah, man.
Bruh, how do you deal with that, my boy? Because I'm in the house with 3 of them. Yeah. And I'm just like,
it's a lot of
me and my son, we be like, man, listen,
that's how me and my son did. My son get to lock himself in the room. Yeah. So, it's a lot. I mean, but I wanted a girl, though, when I wanted my first baby to be a girl. So, I also didn't think I would meet somebody with 3 girls already. Yeah. So after I had her, I was like, all right, she out the way. We have another one. I need a boy.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that didn't happen. So that was another one. I was actually at work when I found that out about our newborn, or baby about to be born. I cried because it wasn't a boy. I got smoked for that too, man. I know. I told her, she's sorry, I can't give you what you want. I'm like, if anything, it ain't your fault, it's mine. It's something I did. It's not, So yeah, man. It was. I mean, it's a lot, but like I said, man. As a boy, you kind of more hard. You're harder. You know, you gotta be. You gotta be a man. You know, you getting older.
Yeah.
You know, little girls ain't like that. They ain't like that.
Mm-hmm.
My 9-year-old senior gonna run up to me just as fast as soon as I walk through the door as you know, my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old will, if they ain't got no video games or anything in their hand, you know. And like I said, it's kind of like the Disney movies, you know. It's always the princess and they got their daddy.
That's real.
You know, anybody really thought about that? You know, it's always the princess and their daddy. So yeah, man. You just feel like you know, you're the hero, you're the Superman. You know what I mean? And there's nothing better than, you know, having your little girls run up to you, you know, and giving you that loving and everything. And for my wife, thank God for her, because just me, man, I don't know, man. So, you know, just like it takes a man to raise a boy, you know, you gotta have the mom there, you know, with all these girls and stuff. I'll take him. You handle them, you know.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, it's a lot, man. But like I said, it's boys are so much easier.
Man,
They're so much easier, bro. So much easier. But
so much less maintenance, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's why I'm trying to get out the door, and I'm like, yo, let's go. And she's like, oh, you gotta come in, you gotta do your hair. I'm brushing her hair, and you know, that bad. Damn, man, I just get in the car, put a hat on.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, thank God she's there for stuff like that. And you know, they got that different love, man. And I think everything I've been through and all that, you know, that's what I want, you know, and that's what I need, you know, especially how loving their mother is, so they're even just as much, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot, but that's God's plan, man.
That's real. So as far as parenting go, I know for me, I'm always looking at, you know, how I can get better and what aspects I can get better at, you know, just every day trying to be a better dad. What would you say, if you had to just pick one aspect of parenting, what would you say which area that you can take the most work on and get better at?
Yes, I have to say patience, man.
What?
Yeah, definitely patience, man, because, you know, kids say the darndest things, and, you know, they act like they don't know anything, or, you know, do the dishes, and then, you know, they doing dishes without a sponge. And it's like, yo, really? So, you know, just, stuff like that, man, you know, patience, and, you know, I got so many of them, so it's like my wife does everything she can, thank God, you know. So just having patience, because I know they've been running her up the wall all day, and on top of it, you know, my wife, she like to work, you know what I mean? So she'll go to work and then come home and still deal with everything, and I see how patient she is until they flip her switch, and it's like, you know, I need to work on that a little bit probably, because I'm just like, yo, go there, I ain't with it. Go to your room.
Yeah.
You playing these games, I ain't got time for it, man, you know. But that's also, I feel like, my job, you know. You tend to have a lot more leniency with mommy than I feel like you do daddy, you know. Mommy can look over there and y'all still do the same stuff. When daddy give you that look over there, you like, okay, hold on. You know? So yeah, man, but I definitely say patience, because, you know, kids will be kids and stuff, but, you know, kids turn to adults, and, you know, you can't have them, you know, 13 years old doing the dishes without a sponge. It's like,
no sir.
Damn, what the hell I teach, you know. But yeah, I'd say patience, man. Especially having so many girls and all that, and, you know, everybody's always in competition with each other and gotta do this and that, and before this and that, and yeah, so definitely patience, man.
Listen, boy, I can concur with you on that one, because that is my thing, man. You know, and it's an everyday work, you know, trying to get better with it, because, man, it's difficult, especially, you know, when in the world we live in now, it's like, you know, especially when you got two parents out of the house and they're working, and, you know, we work these stressful jobs that we work, you know, working in a warehouse. So when you physically tired, and you come home, and it's like you in your mind, you know, I know for me, in my mind, I'm telling myself a lot of times, man, when I get home, I'm loving my babies, I'm gonna do this. I'm telling myself all this good stuff. Man, you know what? Today I ain't gonna get upset about nothing. I ain't gonna. And man, when you get home and you're tired, all that stuff go out the window. What you just told yourself on the way home. Yeah. And it's like, dang, I just said I ain't gonna spaz about anything.
And you walk through the door and you hear the yelling and the screaming, and you like, bro, I just had this voice picked in my ear all day. You know, I ain't trying to hear all that, man. I've been lifting cases all day, and you got all your kids on until you won't be picked up, and it's like, and then you got the dog, and then you got, you know, stop by the store to get something for the wife, and it's just like, man, just give me 2 minutes, you know. Yeah. But that's definitely, trust me, man. Definitely feel that, bro. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. So coming up to the end of this, man. If you could sit down with the 18-year-old version of yourself, if you could just sit down with the 18-year-old James, like me and you doing right now, and you could look that young man in his eyes and give him one piece of advice going forward, you know, knowing everything you know now, where you are at this time in your life, what advice would you give that young man going forward?
If I could tell him one thing?
One thing.
Oh, man. I don't know. That's a tough one, because there's so much. You know what I mean? I might want to tell myself invest in Bitcoin, you know what I mean?
Yeah, boy, for real.
Or tell myself, damn, when you leaving work that day, don't take that way home. You know? I would probably say, you know, don't be a good person, but don't give your love to everybody. You know, realize everybody ain't loyal. And that's one of the realest things I ever heard. I think the thing that messed me up so much is being too good of a person. You know what I mean? Always trying to, you know, forgive and forget, or, you know, taking somebody back after they done this to you, or, you know, being blind to the stuff that somebody's doing for you or doing to you, you know, or whatever, because you're trying to be this good person, you know, you're trying to love and you know, be a best friend or be a boy, whatever it is, you know. Probably don't love so hard, don't, you know, not love so hard, but worry about you, you know. Don't sit there and think you gotta be this and that for somebody else, you know. Don't sit there and think you gotta do this and that, you know, for somebody else and stuff like that, you know, definitely.
That's real. That's real. And I think that's definitely good advice, man, because, you know, I think that's stuff that we learn as we grow older. I know the same thing for me. You know, just always trying to be there for other people.
Yeah.
And
the wrong people.
You know, and you expect that they'll do the same for you. And then when it's not reciprocated, man, you know,
down.
Man, that hurt is something. That's one of those hurts it's hard to come back from. You know, and you start to lose your trust for people. Yeah. You know, even when you should probably trust a certain person, but because of that past, you know, it just make it so hard, man.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be that. If I knew what I knew now, I had to go back. Maybe it'll be find my wife. Yeah. Probably that, because, you know, I feel like I wasted so much love loving the wrong people. And, you know, not even just, you know, like I said, relationships, but also friendships and with family and all that. And when you meet that one person, you know, and when I met my wife, I realized, bro, I don't need nobody, because ain't nobody gonna love me like my wife's gonna love me. You know, I could be who I want to be. You know, I don't have to worry about oh, you ain't doing this, or you ain't doing that, or you ain't good enough for this, and ain't good enough for that, or, you know, this person don't fuck with you, this person don't mess with you, whatever, you know, so I can't, you know, I don't really mess with you like that. That's always been the last thing in her mind. So, you know, on top of, you know, giving your love and loyalty to the wrong people, I think my homeboy, man, I got a homeboy named J-Rock, man, and shout out to him, man. I've known him since I was probably 13, 14 years old, and he's always been him and his girl, you know what I'm saying? He got his homeboys and stuff, but he's always got his girl, bro, and they've been together since I've known him, you know, forever, you know. When we all ain't had nobody to call, he did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you with your boys and you trying to find a homeboy to pick you up, and you ain't got one, you trying to find Shorty to pick you up. Yeah. She busy with somebody else, doing something, you know. But you call his girl, she does. You know what I'm saying? And you know, the realest person on your team, you know what I'm saying, you know, is gonna be your wife, bro. And, you know, so yeah, I'll probably say, I guess that'd be one of the two things. Out of one of those two things, man. Go back and find my wife, and or maybe, you know, don't, you know, put you first, man. Don't trust everybody. Don't think everybody's like you. Don't think everybody has good intentions, you know, because it's a cold world, man. And yeah, not everybody has the same, you know, outlook on like you do, you know, and not everybody believes and takes loyalty as serious, you know, and love as serious. And I'm a Leo, so I'm very, you know, if I mess with you, I mess with you. You know what I mean? That's just it. You know, if I say I got you, I got you. You know, but as soon as you now I can say as soon as you cross me, done with you. You know, before, oh, it's all right, bro. You know, I know you didn't mean to. You know, I know you didn't mean to break in my house and take my stuff. You know, or I know you ain't just pocket my stuff. You know, I know you did on that. You know, I know, or you was, you know. Yeah, nah, man. You gotta. Not everybody has the same, you know, loyalty and stuff as you. And yeah, man. The only person I've ever met that's had that love and loyalty for me has been my wife. You know, and if I would have had her, you know what I mean, shoot, my whole life would have been different, bro. You know, so just having that one person to give you that push, you know, everything, you know, like I said, you know, everything's gonna be okay. They believe in you, you know. You can mess up and not feel like, you know, horrible about it. You know, you let anybody down because it's that person, you know, she's still there for you.
That's
so
real.
Yeah, and after I'm definitely glad, you know, everything happened for a reason, so I'm glad, you know, I went through everything I went through. 2016, I lost my best friend, like my brother. I call him my brother. 6 months later, 3 months later, I think, you know, I lost my other best friend. 3 months later, I lost my grandma on my sister's birthday. So, you know, after that, a lot of people were worried about me, but they said they were worried about me. You know what I mean? They wasn't there if I needed them. If I needed to call them, y'all need to talk, they wouldn't pick up the phone. If I was there, yo, I need this and that, I need help, you know, they wouldn't be there. Man, as soon as I met my wife and we were talking and everything, she has never done anything but help. Nothing but being there for me. Nothing but, man, don't worry about them, don't worry about that. We got this, we can do this, you can do it, you know. So yeah, I definitely go back and try to find her, man, probably. Cause yeah, man, she definitely saved me, though.
That's so
if
real.
I could have had her when I was 18, I could have been,
yeah.
You know, I could have been that, the one with, they all could have been mine, you know, and I could have had the 10-year relationship and could have already been married. We could have already owned something. We could have already, you know, look what we accomplished in a matter of being with each other for 4 years. Coming from Greyhounds and trains from Detroit and Cocoa to Palm Beach to up in Gainesville, owning our own thing, having our second child, having good jobs, you know, like, man, imagine we would have accomplished together when we was 18. And, you know, we would have, man, who knows, we might not have had any kids and been in Dubai. You know?
Real talk, no?
Or, you know, we could have been on some Kevin Gates and Drake or something, you know what I mean? Or, you know, but everything happened for a reason, man. So I'm just glad that she's here and, her, the kids, and everything happens for a reason. So, and you know, if anything was to happen to me, I could say I'm happy with everything I've been through and the way everything played out, man.
That's real.
Yeah, if I was 18,
that's real.
Definitely.
That's real. And I just love how you laid that out, man, because you know, my wife was 18 when I met her. I was 20.
See, that's
so
we have the ultimate story, bro. You know, what's the who the couple that robbed the banks? You know what I'm talking about. We can't remember right now. Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell my wife, bro. I tell her that all the time. You know, you could tell me go do this and do that. You tell me go rob a bank, and you think I could do it? I'm gonna probably think I could do it. Shit, my wife got me when you know, shoot, you know. But if you telling me, you know, don't do that, okay, well, she telling me it for a reason, bro.
Yeah, boy.
You know what I mean? She don't know how much of an impact, you know. Women are strong individuals, bro. Especially, like I said, especially my wife and everything she been through, and you know, so yeah. But like you had the ultimate, you know. That's what I wanted. You know, I want to be 18 with, you know, a high school sweetheart, whatever, and all that. I mean, if I would have had my wife in high school, I probably would graduate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's real.
Yeah, man. You know, chasing her around, she probably, man, chase me. You better have some good grades or something. Yeah, man. She was a little high too, but you know, it could have been good for each other, man. Who knows?
No, that's real though, because like when I met my wife, I ain't had no job, barely had a phone.
Oh man, that's so funny you said that.
It's like, you know, she was just getting out of high school. I was just going through this little breakup with my high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
And when we met, you know, it was long distance, all that. But you know, and I was doing she ain't know half of the stuff I was doing. You know.
Yeah.
And I was really wilding, but I knew at some point like I needed to chill, because I'm like, bro, if she find out the type of stuff I be doing, she might not be interested in me like that no more. And so, you know, she made me want to do better. You know, she made me, you know, I'm like, dang, bro, I can't be around her stealing all the time. I need to get me a job, bro. You know, I need, I was really tripping.
Like, you just stupid, bro. You really need a beer run, you couldn't buy it.
Like, real talk, bro. Like, the stuff that she know now, I be telling her all this stuff. And, you know, she told me, she was like, if I would have knew all this stuff, I probably would have never.
Yeah, see, that's like, we had some mutual friends, so she heard stuff about me from before, and like, everybody says all these things about you, like, yeah, kind of, you know,
tripping.
Yeah, I didn't have kids like you. I didn't have, you know, a relationship, so it was like, forget it, man. What's the matter?
For real.
So you ain't think, you know, but I definitely would have loved to. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cause after you meet that person and shit, your whole life, you have a different outlook in life after you had kids and everything. You know, you have more of a purpose instead of like when you were a teenager and everything, partying and getting throwed and, you know, being this and that. You know, all that don't matter now. We just talk about it like we used to be cool to us when we were just, and now it's just like, yo, look at, that was so stupid when I did this. Nowhere, you know what I mean? So, you know, love don't love nobody, streets don't love nobody, you know.
Sir.
It's kind of, you know, you don't know, you ever heard that song Moot Boy, by Moot Boy, Rose Petal?
No.
It's from a relative, baby dad ain't know how to treat her. She let it go, and I ain't mad at him either. Yeah, and he actually talking in the song. He's like, she tell you don't go with that man, bro. You gonna get slayed and anything. He get away, you get locked up. First thing you holler about, somebody call my bitch. That bitch, you know, it's like, that one, you know, when he call you dog, I ain't gonna be there. And call you, the mama, she fed up, she washed her hands with
story
you.
about that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy,
yeah,
man.
So,
but man, shout out to all the real women out there, man, that keep us where we need to be, keep us on track, man, you know. So men out there, man, if you got a good woman, do right, man. I know it's hard at times, very hard, but keep on trying, man. Keep doing what you got to do, because you lose that woman, man. It's a bad thing to lose a good woman, man. So
yeah, they don't make them no more, like, you know.
Crazy,
man.
It's real now, boy.
Yeah, they ain't making them no more. Hard to come across, man. So
yeah, so man, y'all already know, man. I always said, we giving game, free game. It's free 99. You either take it or you leave it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we only giving y'all our experience. So if you're hearing this and if the shoe fit, wear that shoe, man, and just keep trying to do better.
Man,
but
I was work the game for the fathers and
stuff. Yeah, for real.
Gonna be like Gillian Wallows.
Yeah. But man, y'all listen, man. Hey, this was good, man, and definitely glad to be able to sit down with you, Brian, hear your story. Like I always say, you know, all of our stories are important, man. We all have stories that can help the next person, and just hearing everything that you've been through and where you are, you know, your story is a story of perseverance. You know, you continue to persevere through everything that you've been through, man. And you know, if ain't nobody else told you, I'm gonna tell you, bro. I'm proud of you. To see where you are, man, and to know that you continuing to push and doing everything you doing. You know, that's real stand up, bro. And you know, I don't think we get our roses enough as men. You know, especially as fathers. And you know, I always look at my situation like it's, you know, the quote unquote perfect situation. You know, I ain't have kids until I got married with my wife and all this stuff. But to see what you've been through and to hear your story, it's like all I could do is honor that, because I'm like, damn, you know, like this man really got a lot of stuff that that's up against him, and you know, you continuing to push through that, and you taking on responsibilities and handling that, you know, and not making excuses for it, and just continuing to push, man. Like I say, bro, that's real deal.
Still got a long way to go, man. I still got a lot of things that I need to work on, for myself, get myself better, and for my family, you know, and all that. But I'm gonna get there, you know. Like you said, I appreciate it too. It really means a lot, you know, to me, hearing that, you know, somebody proud of you. If don't nobody love you, I do, you know. So I definitely appreciate it, man, because it means a lot to me, and it's nice to, you know, get out my story. You know, I hope it does help somebody, you know, and like I said, man, I still got a whole lot of things, you know, that I need to work on, and
all of us, man,
you know, to get better at, so I can be a better person, you know, for me, my family, and you know, for this world and all that, is everything. So
that's real.
I definitely hope my story could help somebody. I definitely appreciate you for having me here today, man. It's definitely nice to talk, you know what I mean, and get it out, you know, because that's another thing I feel like with men, you know, it's always, we don't get to say and vent the way we would without anyone, you know, taking offense, whether it's our friend, our wife, our family, or whatever, or, you know, taking it and, oh, well, you know, them trying to flip it on them, and you know, it ain't like just near talk, you know what I mean? So
it's real.
I definitely appreciate it, bro. My first podcast, so I'm definitely happy, man. I wasn't wanting to be anywhere else, man. So definitely thank you a lot, bro. I really appreciate it. I can't wait till next Saturday. I hope
Oh yeah.
I hope
man.
everybody show up. I'm glad to shorten up the walk, so I don't gotta hit my wife. You know, she about ready to pop. And she gonna be out there like Jalen Water.
Yeah,
you know, and then everybody else gonna be Tyreek.
Yeah.
And
that's real.
Yeah, man.
Man, we I'ma definitely get you in contact. You know, I wanna be in your corner, man. I know you new here to town. You know, I have a network of dads, you know, for myself, you know, guys that I hang out with, and you know, just having people that I could talk to, man. And
yeah.
You know, I'm definitely here for you, bro. You definitely you got my number and stuff.
Yeah, we definitely.
And that's what we got to do, man. We got to
have a barbecue or something, you know.
All that, man.
Get all the kids, get all the wives, meet and hang out and everything. Yeah, I definitely, bro.
Got to do that, man.
I don't mess with anybody else, so. You know, this is definitely cool, you know, to socialize and meet good people, you know. You know, it's funny. Now we do stuff like this. Before, we used to go to the club or something, you know.
Crazy.
Well, we're going to go socialize and hang out with you. Where you going tonight?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, 9 o'clock, we going to the walk.
Yeah, for real.
It used to be 10 o'clock, we going to the club.
For real, man.
So, yeah, man, and I'm definitely proud to be a part of what you going on. Definitely love what you got going on. Man, you ever need anything, shit, you know, I'm
for sure.
Definitely would love to help, bro.
For sure.
So,
definitely
let me know, man.
So, hey, y'all listen, man, you know, y'all continue to stay tuned. Like I said, man, April 2nd, next Saturday at 9 a.m., we will be meeting up at A. Quinn Jones School, and we're going to have our walking shoes. If you got basketballs, footballs, kickballs, anything, bring it, man. You know, we, since we changed this, the only thing that's going to be different is we don't have the big playground like Westside has. But A. Quinn Jones still has basketball goals. They got the baseball field. They got the big, huge field. We could throw the football, kick the soccer balls or something, man. You know, just hang with the kids and fellowship and love on one another, man. You know, that's what this is about. And I'm going to be challenging every dad there to at least get 5 numbers from people that they don't know. Get 5, like, get connected, man. You know, as fathers, we have to be connected, man. I want to build a network of dads. And I want all of us to be connected in some way, one way or another, and be there for one another, man. You know, I just think I really believe in that. I'm big on that. Us having people that we can turn to, you know, that's in like us. You know, this is our new hood. You know, fatherhood, man. So, you know, this is our new gang. You know, this is our thing. So if we're gonna be doing that, we got to be able to know how to get in contact with, you know, the gang, the hood.
Maybe try to do something for. You think about doing something for Easter?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I think my next one, I'm gonna plan something for that week right before Father's Day.
Okay.
So, because I know this one right here is gonna probably be way bigger. The second one, because I know people after this first one, everybody gonna be like, I ain't hear nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I say, you know what? I already know people gonna be reaching out saying they ain't hear this, they want to be a part of the next one and all this. So
yeah, definitely I keep going.
Boom! I say, man, I'm gonna give myself a little time. By that time, I'm gonna have more shirts made up.
I gotta get some of those.
Man, people been asking all type of stuff
about me, man. I definitely want one of them, man.
Definitely, man. So we gonna
like you got a couple of them.
Oh yeah,
I seen you with the other one at work the other day. You got enough to wear them to work, man.
Yeah, yeah. I got a good 7 or 8 of them, man. So, man, I'm gonna have some different colors, and y'all know how I do it with the shirts. So, y'all be looking forward. I'm still in the works of getting my hats made, so I'm gonna have some dad hats and stuff. So by the next event, I'm trying to at least have my shirts. I want to have shirts, so you know we can get it in. And yeah, man. So y'all come out April 2nd at 9 a.m. We will be at A. Quinn Jones School. If you're a father, if you're an uncle, you're a goddad, you're a stepdad, you're a granddad, or whoever dad, you know, a father figure, whatever, anything to do with being a dad, or if you're just a mentor to a kid, and you know, you got some kids that you mentor or something like that, man, get these babies and get them out. If you're a brother coaches, uncles, all that, man, you know, I want us to get around each other, and I want the kids to get around one another and have fun. And, you know, we need to build community again. You know, all this virtual stuff nowadays, it's like, man, let's allow these kids to get with each other, man. Get them out the house, man.
Let them get their fingernail dirty.
All that, man. You know, they need that. You know, they need to be out. So
man,
I'm trying to create the opportunities. So y'all know what it is. It's Dad Can We Talk. Shout out to my man T Whitey in 6 O'Clock Studios. That's what we posted up at today. So shout out to my dog. Y'all go follow the 6 O'Clock Stu page on Facebook and Instagram. Y'all go and find my boy T Whitey at Whitey Rose on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, man, y'all continue to stay tuned, man. You know, we gonna keep this thing going. I might be going for a couple of weeks. I got my daughter's birthday coming up. I got the Men Can We Talk episode 3 coming up next week. And the topic will be hip hop. So we finna go in.
Oh yeah.
So y'all continue to stay tuned. That's gonna be next Sunday. I'm gonna record that with some of my boys. So y'all continue to stay tuned. Y'all go find the Men Can We Talk podcast on YouTube and on Facebook and Instagram. Y'all go find that, man. So yeah, man. Y'all already know what it is. We up out of here. Dad Can We Talk? Bang, bang.
Sir. Good dog.